Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. Excuse me, a little cough there. This is Uncle Chuckie, and at the other end we have Brad, who is this weekend doing his spring planting. We're still waiting for the ground to thaw up here. The permafrost has to melt and everything has to sink in the mud before we can do anything here. So, so Brad, how are you tonight?
I'm doing okay. I can't complain too badly. Just doing the Easter stuff with my family there. We were celebrating my mother's 80th birthday today.
Oh,
Yeah. She is a spry, very very feisty lady. Like I
mm-hmm.
said, I'm able to get along with her for extended periods of time, so that that's okay. I can deal with that. But anyway, other than that, I mean that's pretty much it. And I was working on that new prototype here for the telephone. I think we were discussing last week. I just got finished showing you before we
Yeah.
went on the air here. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that thing. I just like the fact it's really a small little package here. I'm gonna be sending you one in the mail and let you check it out for yourself. So you'll probably
Okay.
so you'll probably have that sometime this week. But other than that,
Okay.
everything's good. So how things up there uh, Milwaukee,
Well,
Wisconsin?
other than I need, other than that I need a new power adapter for my laptop, things are pretty good. Uh,
Oh, really? Why? What, you bumped it the
I
wrong
just
way?
decided not to. It just decided to stop working.
Oh,
And usually with the laptop, there's a little light on that says there's electricity coming in. Well, there's no little green light saying electricity is coming in. Therefore, the rational assumption is it's the power adapter
mm-hmm.
and not the laptop itself. So I'll have to send away for a new one. Uh,
Oh,
not
okay.
the end of the world. If worst comes to worst, I can always borrow my wife's. But
Oh,
uh,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, all right.
But
Well,
it's minor annoyance. Minor
yeah.
annoyance. Other than that, things have been going pretty good. We've actually had a couple nice days.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, give the permafrost a chance to start melting so we can do the spring planting. Yeah. Hitch up my stepson to the plow and
Okay,
the
fair enough.
usual. What we
Yeah.
go through every year.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I finally got my Jeep fixed, Old Faithful, and I have to say she's running better than ever. When the mechanic took all that stuff off, I tell you, Chuck, only with an older car can you do this. All the parts, everything. This is including rebuilding the head, the parts. I mean, this is outside. He outsourced it. The mechanic did. But
Yeah.
rebuilding the head, I mean, the valves on it, stuff. New water pump, all that. I spent less than $450 in parts.
That constitutes a minor miracle.
Tell me about it. And I was driving it today, and it drives. It's probably the best that vehicle's ever driven. And I really have to say my mechanic did a great job. I'm very happy with what he was able to do. And plus, I mean, I just can't get over we paid $28 for a water pump, Chuck. A
Hmm.
$28 over at O'Reilly's auto parts store. I mean,
Hmm.
$28. I mean,
Well,
what?
the
I mean,
pumps themselves are not expensive.
yeah.
It's getting them in.
Oh yeah, exactly. But the thing about it is, you had all that stuff you had to take off in order for this thing to
Oh
work,
yeah.
and so
Hmm.
and other than that, I mean, just pretty much it. But yeah, just kind of keeping on trouble here. I was had a little bit of side time here. I had to take a break from the machine world, and I was rebuilding my Ruger 1022 and putting a new spring
Uh-huh.
thing, whatever. And also has one of those fold under stocks too. I mean, it's just a nice little thing I put together here. It's just one of the things. I had all the parts here for years, and decided what the
Yeah.
heck, give me. It's my version of rehabilitation, I guess, or some kind of just trying to break away from building too many machines. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Take
yeah,
a little break and something
yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah. Rebuild a firearm.
Why?
But
Why not?
yeah.
I just wish somebody would come up with a proper replica of the Man from Uncle gun.
Oh, geez, I remember that. I remember that. That was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I never really understood what the deal was. Why he had a Russian,
Oh, they were just being. It was 1960s. They did things like that.
yeah. He had a Russian accent.
But the thing was, I mean, I remember when I first watched it, when it first came on, I watched it for the guns and the girls.
Oh yeah.
Then I watched it for the girls, and then years later, when it came on in reruns, I watched it for Mr. Waverly's hats.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. He was the guy.
I've become old enough to identify with Mr. Waverly. Uh,
Okay, he was the guy with the thick glasses, right? He played in Topper.
yeah, but he didn't have glasses in A Man from Uncle.
Oh, okay.
There was one episode where he played a dual role.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And the other one it was his brother or something who had the thick glasses. But normally Mr. Waverly did not have thick glasses.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I remember one of my favorite toys as a kid was the Man from Uncle Gun. Speaking of, and what it was basically, it looks like a camera, but if you mash one button,
basically, what the Man from Uncle Gun was they took a sawed-off Walther P38 or whatever else they had handy, put on a barrel extension, a long magazine, extended magazine, and a shoulder stock and a Bushnell Phantom scope.
Ah.
Yeah. So it was basically with the barrel extension, I would assume it would be actually not considered a short barrel rifle, and it'd be like any other survival gun.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And thus it should be legal. So I've always been surprised nobody's actually gotten licensed and made a real Man from Uncle gun.
Yeah, what caliber was that thing?
That would have been 9mm.
9mm. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I have.
Like I say, it was based on a Walther P38. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was a cool looking gun. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But I thought that would be kind of fun if somebody did that.
Yeah.
My age is showing.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'd probably been about 5 or 6 years old when Man from Uncle first came on the air. Oh, geez. Oh yeah. Oh man. No, you're like 12 or you're about 13 years older than me, I think. 13 or 14 years older than me.
Yes, I am older than you. Yes. It shows.
Yeah, it really does. But other than that,
hey, well, you're my age.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't know. I'm really not.
Saw your girlfriends visit you in the nursing home.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, like the highest rate of STDs is in nursing homes.
I believe it.
Apparently, these older people have a lot of spare time, and
they have nothing else to do with their time, and you get a choice of an STD or a heart attack.
Yeah, and I figure the ratio of women to men in these retirement homes is probably higher. I probably about
it is. So it's really kind of if you've got a man who's halfway functional, which is kind of difficult in those places, you've got pretty much a buyer's market.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really not a bad thing. I mean, if you're a guy.
Until the heart attack or the STD gets you.
Well, I mean, by that time you really don't care. Hey, at least you'll die with a smile on your face.
What the hell? Yeah.
Yeah, you'll die.
The STD you certainly don't care about because what the hell, you're going to die anyway. So who cares? Yeah.
Oh yeah, but anyway, hey, God bless them. I mean, hey, if they can do that, go for it. Hey, enjoy yourselves. You probably earned it.
Mm-hmm. I as well got nothing they've got nothing else better to do with their time.
Yes, it's not like you're going to get pregnant or anything. I mean, just whatever.
Yeah, I don't think they have to worry about that.
Yeah. There you go.
Unless you get pregnant or something.
Oh God. Yeah. I think the oldest woman I heard of that got pregnant as a celebrity is Adrienne Barbeau. I think she was like 52 years old and got pregnant or something. I don't know anything about her kid or whatever. It's just something I remember.
I know nothing of it, so I don't pay attention to that sort of thing.
Well, I mean, she was kind of popular back in the 70s from
She was she was the '76 pot, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, had the disco hairdo thing going
yeah,
on and
she
all.
had that disco hair. Yes, yeah. I always wonder if it was flammable.
If it was, oh, really? Oh, yeah, yeah. How much hair? How much hairspray was she using? Yeah, gotcha. Oh well. Speaking of flammable, yeah, we were talking about computers last week. We kind of, you want to talk about, say you have a neighbor or a business competitor or what have you, and they rely on their computers and a lot, and you want to make life interesting for them. What would you do? How would you set up an operation to make that happen?
Actually, that's so simple.
Go for it.
Yeah, all you have to do is you basically visualize the innards of the computer and get really mad, and it will screw up the computer. The energy will screw up the inner. They're that sensitive; they will respond. Actually there was a documentary done by the BBC of all things, a long time ago. I used to have a copy of it,
Mm-hmm.
um, where they did about minds affecting computers.
Mm-hmm.
And it started out with pilots under stress. They had strange things happening to their avionics.
Okay.
Mhm. And somebody came up with the conclusion that the stress of the pilot was affecting the avionics.
Mm-hmm.
How they came to that conclusion, I do not know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember one time I was in a chat room online and I got really, really mad at somebody and the computer crashed.
Ah.
Yeah, they are sensitive to that sort of thing. Uh,
Yeah. So, I mean, is there like a piece of machinery that you would use to direct that energy toward them, like say an equalizer, or would you just use like a
oh yeah,
regular?
you could use your machines, sure, but I mean you don't need them.
Hmm.
They help, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean people, yeah, this sort of thing happens. Remember, there are people the computers will not work around.
Right. Yeah.
You
I
know,
know people like
there's
that.
something, yeah, there's something in their energy field. You put them near a computer, and the computer will crash.
Yeah. I know they were doing those kind of experiments in the military, seeing that they could focus on a computer and making that happen. And I think they were pretty successful at that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they were very successful experiments because frankly anybody could do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one of these things anyone with any ability to focus at all can do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That leaves
Uh,
out the Russians.
oh,
Um,
okay. Okay.
they never seem to be able to manage things. That's because they're so busy squinting. They
Yeah.
squint and they scrunch, and then they wonder why things don't work.
Oh, oh man. But yeah, that kind of reminds me of quantum computers. And I've read
Uh,
about this, so I'm assuming it's true. They said that before their technicians can go in there and start constructing a quantum computer, they have to go through a mental exercise to relax their emotions, to clear their minds, so that basically, they walk in
they
there,
don't
they're not,
screw the thing up.
they don't screw the thing up. And I have to, and I've mentioned
I'm
this.
inclined to believe. I'm actually inclined to believe it because the more sensitive the machine, the
Mhm.
faster the machine, the more vulnerable it is.
Right. And that's kind of like when I build these circuits. My hands are the only hands that touch these circuits. And I know you like to have keep these things open for for your customers or whatever. But I would like to warn them that I would not be poking around in there and start touching this stuff. I mean, you can look at it. I guess it's not going to hurt to look at it, but the actual touch it, I would personally suggest hands off. But that's just me. I'm the guy that built the stuff. What do I
That's
know?
just you. I
Yeah.
mean, but
Yeah.
I understand. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I build these things, I really, if I'm pissed off about something, I won't touch a machine. I will not I will not build a machine if I'm under some kind of a stress level or whatever where I feel like I can't really concentrate fully on something. I won't touch a machine, and so
Where
but
course, if I'm really pissed off, I'm probably not only touching the machine, I'm using it.
Exactly, exactly. But
I
yeah, I
mean,
mean,
really, there are times come home from the grocery store and be so upset with the idiots in the store that the only way to calm myself down is to put on the helmet and set up the machine to the planet and just send nastiness out to the whole planet.
oh, okay, very
See what
cool.
I can wreck.
Oh, very cool. Another thing I've been using a helmet for, I decided I would spread my, or take it to another limit, which is probably not a new idea, but I think for this particular device, it may be, something that not many people have tried. Is I'm into cryptocurrencies. They fascinate me. I enjoy the fact that the idea of transferring value from point A to point B for a transaction using zeros and ones as if they were, actual currency, which they are, and people accept it as currency. That kind of thing fascinates me. But what I've been using this helmet for is like if I look at a chart, for example, and you delved, in this kind of stuff. You're pretty familiar with like the
I
stock
know
market.
what you're
How?
talking about. Go
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Go on.
yeah. And so what I try to do is I try to time it out as to what I think the peak is going to be, a particular value, what the peak is going to be and what the valley is. So basically I sell at the peak, and then I buy back at the valley, at the dip.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and
yes.
I increase my wallet with by purchasing more coins of that or what have you. And so
Okay.
what I'm looking at here is, I've been using this helmet to try to help me become more focused and more intuitive with a particular, rise and dips of a a cryptocurrency. And I have to say that when I first started, I would probably maybe a third of the time I'll get it right. Now I think I'm probably around.
Um,
So, hello?
I lost you there for a second.
Oh yeah, I said at first I was probably getting it right about 1 out of 3 times. Now it's about 60%. I would say 6 out of 10 times. I'm pretty close to where the
Okay.
actual peak, the dip is. Have you ever used
Is that sort of like staying? That's sort of like three people on a desert island getting rich, passing their hats back and forth?
uh no, I'm just
I'm
hey,
having fun with you.
yeah, I know. It's at the end of the day, I have more kinds of of a particular value. I've made money just by increasing the size of my portfolio, and really
Mm,
doesn't cost me anything. It's just like I said, just simply buying at the dip and selling at the peak or at the at
yes.
the top. And
Yes. Buy low, sell high. Yeah.
yeah, buy low, sell high, and with this stuff, it's so volatile. I mean, it goes up and down about once. The cycle will go about once every 1 to 2 hours, depending on the currency. I guess within 2 hours profit. Just but the thing about it
Okay.
is it's a pain, but it's something interesting you can do on the side. But yeah, have you ever used in your equipment in the stock market or trying to predict?
Heavens. Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes, and how successful were you?
It works. It works. It works. What I would do is I would essentially I'd have a stock that I had, and I had a sell price.
Hmm.
Okay, that I would sell it at.
Hmm.
And what I would do is I would simply transmit that sale price,
Hmm.
with the symbol,
Hmm.
and almost inevitably it would reach the price. I would sell. I would make my money and then go on to something else.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of times what people did in the stock market, and they still do, is they have a set price they sell at. Okay,
Right.
they sell it.
Hmm.
And then the price continues to go up, and they're kicking themselves. Oh, I should have held on. I should have held. No, 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 no. That's how you lose money.
Right.
What you do is you sell at the price you want to sell to make your profit, and after that, it can go as high as it wants. You
Yeah.
know,
Okay. All right.
uh,
So
if
so
you start regretting things, then you're in trouble. Regret is always bad. Regret
yeah,
is always bad. You can't change it, and all you're doing is making yourself feel bad.
yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, you made a profit.
At the end, you've made your profit, so
Yeah,
you should
I
be
mean,
happy.
yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is, if you wait long enough, you'll always drop back down to the price that you originally wanted, and you go through that cycle
And of
again.
course, things go up, they go down. Things go up, they go down. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just a matter of patience, and I get it. It's a very interesting study in human psychology,
Oh yeah,
trading. And they have the algorithms
it's
to
interesting studying mob psychology.
really explain.
Yeah, you have to think of the people in these markets as herds of sheep,
Okay.
and they go running one way, and then they go running another, and then they go running another, and it's like Monsieur Danton said during the French Revolution: "Which way is the mob going? I have to be there to lead them."
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. But again, it's that kind of a thing that it's like what they call it FOMO, fear of missing out, and
Hmm.
that's what you're dealing with. And again, it's human psychology, and they have the algorithms that know how people think when it comes to markets, and they're able to adjust those algorithms to buy and sell within the
And
mood
then
of
you have
the market.
program trading.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, it's amazing. You have computers trading amongst themselves. I mean, you talk about the ultimate, three men on an island, trading, back and forth.
There has
I'm,
back and forth,
oh
yes.
yeah, exactly, and that's what's going on here. I mean, but it's just with computers, and I find it fascinating. The people who were able to put that together and make money at it.
Hmm.
So, but what are you going to do? It's just the
Yeah,
way it
and of
is.
course, then if you can get into those computers and screw them up.
Or maybe tilt them toward your a certain outcome. Maybe.
Hmm. Or just
Uh,
crash them.
oh, if you. Oh, whoa. I'm not going to touch that one, but I get your drift. I read between the lines, and I'm sure everybody out there is reading between the lines too, because it's kind of
Thank you.
like,
Uncle Chuckie!
yeah,
I can hear them scream. Yes.
yeah. It's like some things in life, with computers, size doesn't really matter. Work for a calculator as well for a supercomputer, and anywhere. Yeah, it's the principle's the same. So,
It's like when you open your refrigerator and you realize that the chow mein from 3 weeks ago has come to life.
oh, that's
And
funny.
you say to your wife, "Honey, I think we should throw this out. It's taking over."
Oh man, but yeah, it's amazing, and I can understand why it would probably be easy to mess with a computer because I mean you're just dealing with electrons, and if you get
Oh yeah, yeah,
a
you
couple
can.
of
Messing with computers is easy.
yeah, I mean if you were to knock a few electrons off their path, I mean yeah, you could cause some major
Basically,
havoc.
I wrote about, basically you visualize yourself inside the processor batting electrons with a baseball bat.
Oh, oh man, yeah.
Yeah, that's all you have to do is move a few electrons off their path. And back in the 90s, there
Hmm.
was actually a program available, and it was just a fun thing. And your screen would be all like like between channels on a
Hmm.
TV set in those days.
Hmm.
All this gray stuff. And the idea was to influence, but underneath that, there was a face. And the idea was to influence your computer to get rid of all that stuff and have the face show.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so this idea has been around forever. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You don't have to be in the Russian special forces to know how to do this.
Right.
In fact, it probably helps you not to be because you actually will be able to do it.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to be
Yeah.
a super soldier.
Comrade Comrade General has discovered way to have special forces influence computers. Da? Da. Unfortunately is bad side. Is what bad side? They are manipulating vodka dispensers.
Oh God. Yeah.
I mean,
You know, can you imagine?
I'll be honest, when I read that story, I laughed so hard. I really did.
Yeah.
It's the Russians 35 years too late and a ruble short.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I know the Army, the U.S. Army, were doing this very same thing back in the
We know
70s and
they
80s.
are. We of
And
all people know, yes.
yeah, yeah, and like I said, of course they're not doing it now. I mean, even though they had fantastic results, they didn't take any casualties by doing this. There was no forensics. Yeah, yeah, we stopped doing it now, guys. We don't mess with that anymore. It's just a bunch of hokum. Yeah, I believe you. Yeah,
Your
you're.
nose just came through the screen and we don't even have the cameras on. But really, it is funny. I mean, you got the you got those remote influencers out there, and they're still out there. Yeah,
Yeah,
screaming, screaming
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I mean, can you imagine? Guys like Lynn Buchanan or Dr. Alexander. I mean, they were highly trained by our military. Do you really think that they're just sitting there just writing books and just twiddling their thumbs? I mean,
Oh, I know they're not.
of course not. Of course not. Uh, I mean, I know.
I mean, yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
really, a lot of these things, these installations are sitting ducks to a good psychic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a simple truth. It's a simple truth.
Yeah.
Uh, and we are, and like I said, we were doing. Our military was doing this, way back.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
were starting to experiment in the 70s. In fact, there was an experiment done in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
They say it failed,
Uh-huh.
and I can see a million reasons why it would fail. But it was to have our psychics take control of the Soviet nuclear arsenal and blow their missiles up on the launching pad.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And this was back in the 70s.
Right.
Um, and they say it failed.
Mm-hmm.
I repeat, they say it failed.
Yeah.
Don't know that it did.
Hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point of how far back this is going. Uh, and so we're not talking about anything new under the sun here, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is no secret. I mean, we're just talking about stuff that's public knowledge, and it's just we're
Yeah,
not
it is.
breaking any.
And that, like I said, that's why when they came up with this thing that the Soviet special forces claim they could, crash American computers, I'm saying, well done, gee.
Gee, yeah, man.
It took them that long.
Oh yeah. Some of the stuff that's gone on over in places north of South Korea. Over there, I mean, some like
Yeah.
little mishaps, like the side of a mountain blowing up,
Yeah,
the
there are
lab.
things that have gone wrong.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Bad things happen.
why, of course. Why, of course. So, it makes me wonder, maybe there might have been a little bit of outside help. So, but,
There always is. There
Yeah.
always is. There always is.
yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, my concentration really has been toward, anything I could do, trying to save U.S. lives, military, and most of that has to do with the over in the sandbox. So that's kind of like where I have to tell you, Chuck. I really have you noticed? Have you picked up the vibe that really the Middle East is not as big of a threat as it used to be? I mean, it's just kind of like things have kind of calmed down a little bit. Yeah, we got these little assholes that come out there and blow up stuff. We even had the thing over Sri Lanka. But still, I'm just talking about the
Yeah, I can
mindset.
I can imagine there's a whole bunch of psychics right now wondering how they managed to aim at the Vatican and hit Sri Lanka.
But yeah, we had this.
I know. I saw the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the crazies going around blowing themselves up and that, but it's in some places it's calmed down, some places it hasn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in Yemen. But then who in their right mind would ever want to be in Yemen? There's nothing in Yemen.
Yeah. I mean, really, these people, they need to find a better way of expressing themselves. They really do. Their public image is not all that great. You know, I
Well,
guess
I
they
don't think
don't.
they worry that much about image. I think they worry about just, doing the will of Allah. And the will of Allah is that they go blow themselves up.
Ah, jeez. I mean,
I
really.
guess I don't know. The world's full of crazy people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them make podcasts.
Oh, but we're a public
But at
service.
least we have fun.
Yeah,
At least we
exactly.
have fun.
Yeah. Oh man, I tell you. But again, it's just yeah. What can I say? What can I say? It's just it is what it is. You know. Eh. But I've noticed a kind of a calming. Personally, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my
Maybe it's
view.
just not getting on the news as much.
Yeah. Uh, I see a lot of justice coming down the down the road here pretty fast. I don't know what it is. I feel pretty good. I really do. Maybe I'm wrong here. I've been wrong before. But anyway, what can I say?
I
Um,
know. I was wrong myself.
yeah, yeah. But
It was in August of 1957. Just before my 8th birthday, I was wrong about something. That was the last
oh,
time.
oh, really?
But anyway,
Okay.
I'm never wrong. You know that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh man, but other than that, it's just yeah,
sometimes may make a wrong assumption on the basis of incomplete information. But I am
yeah,
never ever wrong.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
If the information had been correct, the decision would have been correct.
correct. Yeah, I've been there myself, and I mean, yeah, it's you can only, like you said, you can only come up with a good resolution for something, and once you have all the information, and I've been guilty of jumping, to conclusions maybe a little bit faster than I should have, in my life, and but yeah, that's
Mhm.
what makes me human. But I always, always make up for it one way or the other. I always make up for it. But yeah, what can I say? Yeah, it is what it is. But right now I'm just doing my thing here, just taking care of I don't know miscellaneous stuff. But yeah, right. As I'm speaking to you right now, I'm looking at this new telephone, and I tell you, Chuck, it's just one of those things where I don't know why it's just speaking to me. It just came together. It was just so I was able to put together something so powerful. I mean, and this thing is really it has all the bells and whistles of the $4 Tepaphone that we sell. Not the equalizer, but the Tepaphone that we sell. It has
The
all the bells
telephone,
and whistles.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just all in a small, 3 by 5 foot or 3 by 5 inch by say
Yeah, not three by
2.5 inch.
5 feet. I mean,
No,
that would
no,
be
those things are a little bit.
that
Those
would
things
not
are,
be compact.
yeah, those are a little pricey. But yeah, this thing, and
Not really pricey, but big.
yeah,
Where do
you
you
know,
put it?
and I even got this thing set up. We can run like a little 9 volt battery. With the thing. It's just I don't know. It's just little things like this that brighten my day. Is providing
Oh
you
yeah.
know nice new little toys for all the good little girls and boys across the world. And you and I were discussing the other day about your original versions of the telephone. Using a
Yeah, my old
flashlight.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, your
my
old
old stuff
stuff.
I resurrected in front of it
Yeah.
because I was bored. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I mean, this is probably a little bit more, I would say, a souped up version of that. But yeah,
A little more complicated. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, the principle is identical. It's identical. I mean, yeah, you can get down just holding a flashlight in your hand and and thinking, projecting, some kind of thought into that beam of light and project it toward
Well, yeah.
a target.
Basically, the
Yeah,
flashlight hook. The flash with the foil pad on the end hooked to the helmet. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, sure, you can go that route. Yeah, I mean, it'll work.
I
But
mean,
this thing,
that was the original. It was a metal flashlight And I had, it was one of the old-fashioned kind where you took the end cap off and slammed the batteries in and then screwed it on again. And I basically had drilled a little hole in that and put a jack in and plugged that into the helmet or an amplifier and aimed that at the target.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it'll work. I mean,
it worked. It worked really good.
Yeah. I mean,
a little complicated to put together, but it worked.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I mean, there's always one way to more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. And no offense to cats, but yeah, I like cats too. But no, it's just again, there's just certain
more than one way to skin an in-law. Let's
oh man, but yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna try to get a hold of Josh here. We're planning on. I was gonna do an interview with him on his podcast, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess you and I will be on his podcast together. We can discuss new things and that kind of stuff. So I look forward to that happening probably within the next 10 days, within a week and a half. So
okay, I will be going Friday afternoon into Saturday afternoon. So.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, you're going down to Chicago?
We're starting our monthly trips down to Chicago again because now the weather is decent.
Okay. All right then.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't do it in the winter, and this year winter went a month longer than it was supposed to. Or we would have started last month. So
basically, some of your fellow whatever you call
our friends. We used to be doing something, but now we've gotten old and we just sit around and visit.
Oh, so you just reminisce about the olden times?
Yeah, we basically talk about pickle recipes and one of our people's job driving Uber because she always has wonderfully hilarious stories, and another one who does pottery and artwork and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we just talk about our normal lives because we don't have abnormal lives anymore.
I like I said, that's just something that I really don't understand, but I get it.
I know you don't understand. I never understood the idea of life. I mean,
okay, but yeah, it's amazing how people evolve. But
that's true.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting up here in West Allis, Wisconsin. I'm looking around at go to the grocery store and encounter all these people who never bothered to evolve. Some of them work at the checkout lane. Some of them are in the checkout lane.
Oh yeah, I love self checkout now. If I have that option available.
I hate self checkout. I cannot stand the voice on that thing.
Oh, I don't even listen to it. It's just basically, a lot of the places I use it at, I think there's, who do I use? It's Home Depot. Like if I go down there, I'm buying something from Home Depot. Hell, I'm not going to stay there. See, most people avoid the self-checkout because they don't understand it. So you basically just go.
Yeah, I don't understand them.
Yeah,
they drive me crazy.
Yeah, so everybody's waiting in line with the human beings. So I get to sit there and deal with a machine. And I have to say, from time to time, the less the human contact, the better. And I'm just on
the other hand, look at it this way.
Okay,
you're
go ahead.
Standing in line, and the person waiting in line in front suddenly has this uncontrollable itching.
Okay.
And they really can't scratch where it's itching in public.
All right. Okay.
And they're squirming. It's great fun.
All right then. Enjoy. Now that
See, really, these things do have their benefits.
Oh, okay. I don't even think about that. I try to.
There is something when you're in the line in the grocery store, and the person in front of you is buying their supplies for the next 6 months or something, and you get to say, "Thank you for saving some food for the rest of us."
Okay. Oh man. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. Jeez. Oh well. Like I said, that's just
Yeah,
one
the
of my.
problem is that jokes don't work on machines.
Oh.
Okay? You can't make jokes at the self-checkout. Even though it has this horrible voice that sounds like hell on crack.
Uh-huh.
Put your
Oh,
bag over there, Dave. I have to kill you now. I
oh, okay. So you're equating a self-checkout with HAL from 2001? Is
Yes,
that
exactly.
what?
Yes, the murderous gay computer in 2001. Yes, even though we were long past 2001.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, they kind of, well, I have to say, I've heard some stories that, you know, you have to ask yourself, what kind of, it goes back to this, if psychic, if these guys, super soldiers, psychic soldiers from the 70s and 80s, if they were, so successful, and do you really think the army stopped using them? Do you really think we stopped going to the moon after 1973? I think it was. Do you really think it's the last time we
I
actually?
think no, the reason they stopped going to the moon was very simple. They weren't finding anything interesting there.
Really? That they say.
Yeah, basically, it was that. It was just a pile of rocks. Yeah, there was nothing there they could do anything with,
Yeah.
and so they wanted to spend money on something else.
Really?
That's how you're talking about the government here.
Yeah. Well, I heard that.
You're talking about people who have no concept of adventure, no concept of exploration. All they can do is count beans.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess
Was
you're
that?
right.
It's no great mystery or conspiracy or anything. It's just utter stupidity and lack of imagination.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I just wondered. I know that they. I think at one mission
I
they.
know there are people who make all kinds of crazy claims, but nah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I mean, there were this one guy said we didn't go to the moon. He was talking about Neil Armstrong's spacesuit. He said, look at the foot. Look at the soles of the of his spacesuit and compare that to the footprints on he took pictures of on the moon. Well, yeah, what you saw is
Well, you
there's
can make pictures of soles of footprints anywhere. Okay,
no. There's
but
here's the reason. Let me finish here.
okay.
Here's what happened. Okay, the way what they saw the uniform, like they have in the Smithsonian or whatever, that is
Yeah,
the regular.
spacesuits.
That's what it looks like when he's inside the capsule. But when he actually walked on the moon, he put on a pair of basically booties. It had like a different tread
Mhm.
markings or whatever, and that's what you saw on the moon. He took that off. That was a
Yeah,
separate part of the
whichever. But the thing is,
suit.
there's a couple things on Brad, if you let me. There's a couple things on the moon, artifacts that they left
Mm-hmm.
that are still used, and they're 12-inch by 12-inch reflectors,
Mm-hmm.
and they use those to calibrate lasers
Right.
because they know the exact distance from the Earth to where those things are, and that's how they calibrate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's there. That's on the moon. We left them on the moon. These crazy people say, well, no, we never went to the moon. Okay, fine. You want to believe that? Fine. Believe that. Just don't fall off the edge of the Earth.
Oh,
Okay?
literally, there are people out there. Have you
I
heard
mean,
about the flat Earth
I
society?
don't bother with them. I don't pay any attention to them. They're not worth it.
Oh God. I've actually watched a documentary. I think it was called Under the Curve on Netflix, and it was about these flat earthers. I have to ask. I mean, really, I understand what you're saying. I think it's funny, or not really funny. I think it's interesting to think about, but in reality, it doesn't work. So, in order for this thing to work, is we're basically like part of we're sitting on a tabletop somewhere, and we have a mechanical sun and a mechanical moon that's going back and forth, and all this other jive or whatever. I'm thinking, okay, really, this doesn't work. And I have actually talked to people. Well, one of the guys who's instrumental in the engineering of the first Mars rover. That robot they sent up to Mars.
That's
And
nice. Okay,
yeah,
go on.
well, I mean, yeah, okay, the guy was not. He's pretty intelligent. And he said, well, I was involved in this, and also basically he was a rocket scientist on top of this, and he said
Well,
if we lived on
somebody
a
on
flat
Mars
Earth,
should expect that.
yeah, yeah, and he said if we lived on a flat Earth, none of my equations would work. I couldn't, I'd
Well,
be.
there's another thing to it too, and I saw this as a cartoon on Facebook today, and it's true.
Mhm.
If the Earth were flat, cats would have pushed everything off of it by now.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
Mm.
apparently we're, the perimeter of this flat Earth is, it's icebergs. It's the Arctic. What we see is known as the Arctic or the Antarctic. I'm thinking, okay, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
these
Yeah.
people are nuts. Okay,
Yeah. I mean,
these are nuts.
I have more faith in the Mandela effect than I do in this in CERN. I have more faith.
Yeah,
That makes sense to me. I mean, reality being twisted and manipulated, that makes sense to me. And that's what these machines do. I mean, that's exactly what we do.
things happened that didn't. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, that makes sense to me. But the thing that we live on a flat surface, I have to draw the line somewhere. That's all I got to say.
If we lived on a flat surface, then why is it that when they fired the Paris gun in 1918 or 17 or something like that, the Germans bombarding Paris with this big cannon,
Mm-hmm.
they had to adjust for not only the rotation of the Earth, but its curvature.
Yeah.
If the Earth were flat, you wouldn't have to worry about the curvature.
Well, of
Maybe
course.
the rotation, depending on, how far from the whole center of the record you're spinning,
Uh-huh.
because the farther away you are, the faster you are. But, but it doesn't make any sense that you have to, compensate for a curvature that isn't there, and that everybody see, and that we see in pictures from space all the time. I mean, just,
Geez, I mean, on a clear day, if you get high enough in a commercial aircraft, you'll see a curvature of the Earth. I mean, it's plain.
exactly, yeah. I mean, you take pictures from like the old U2s and the SR-71s, and yeah, the Earth is round. I'm sorry, Thomas Aquinas. The Earth is round.
Oh man! Oh,
uh,
I tell you, that's just absolutely insane. How anybody could really think something like that? What are you gonna?
but
What are you gonna?
I mean, these people are good for a laugh, and that is
Yeah.
all that they're good for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the fact that they're thinking sort of outside the box and they're having basically pre Christopher Columbus thinking mindset.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of, it's nice they're thinking outside the box. The problem is they've gone so far outside the box that they're just floating somewhere.
Oh,
Look,
man.
it's a perfect cube.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it is what it is. But,
This is what comes of people reading Plato.
yeah, yeah. What are you
No,
going
it
to do?
was actually different. It was a different Greek philosopher that came up with the flat Earth, and it wasn't Ptolemy. It was somebody else.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Oh,
but
really?
yeah, but the whole thing is they just they're crazy. They're good for a laugh, but crazy.
Jeez. Yeah.
Of course, we're here
But,
sitting talking about how we can use our minds to influence computers. So
yeah, we go from influencing computers to flat earthers.
we're not
Okay.
exactly the same.
Hey, this sounds like a typical Thursday. Oh man, but yeah. Other than that, like I said, I enjoy helping out people. And I figured the computer thing was a nice little subject to touch tonight. But just give people something to think about. And again,
We give them something to laugh about.
oh yeah, exactly. But other than that, I mean, it's just a quiet Easter down here in the South, and what can I say? All right, my friend. Well, I'm about ready to. Huh?
Nice quiet day. It's been a nice day actually. Sunny, upper
Oh yeah.
60s. For this
Oh
time
yeah.
of year, nice day.
Oh yeah.
A week ago, we had snow on the ground.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about playing golf today, and I just said, nah. Nah, I had some other little errands had to run, plus doing my mother's birthday party and all that stuff. So, that was
And the back 40 needed, and the back
yeah,
40 needed plowing.
yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, yeah, you figured me out. That's me. All right. Well, anyway, far from it. But nah, I don't know what can I say. Just pretty much it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna pretty much call it a night on this podcast. I think we've just about been on there for about 50 minutes. Cut it short since it's a holiday. But yeah, I'm pretty much all talked out, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
okay,
But
fine.
all
All
right, my
righty,
friend.
let me. All righty. Well, folks, this has been the Brad and Chuck Show. We hope you had as much fun with it as we did. Good night.
Night night.